Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today for another thought from the Bible. I don't know about you, but I'm a person who quite likes a little bit of routine. I quite like to know what's coming in my days so that I can plan accordingly, and I find it a little bit difficult when that routine suddenly changes. If you watched last week's video at all, you will know that my routine for the last couple of weeks has been thrown completely out of the window after my husband Dave had to have emergency surgery here for acute appendicitis here in Liberia. Definitely has changed the routine lately. See, on a normal weekday morning, our alarm would go off at 5:50 a.m. We normally snooze for about 10 minutes and drag ourselves out of bed at 6 in the morning. Get up, Dave will get changed and ready for work. We'll have breakfast together, and then I'll kick Dave out the door to go to the Mission Aviation Fellowship hangar here in Monrovia, and then that's a little bit of time for me. So I'll do some exercise, normally pick up my Bible and work through the reading plan that I'm doing this year, and just spend some time praying. I'll pick up a little journal that I have that I can write down anything I feel that God might be saying to me so I can look back on it. It's all my normal little weekday routine. But this different routine that we've had for a couple of weeks, this routine that isn't really routine at all, just whatever needs doing that day, has meant that I've not really been taking that time. It's really easy, I think, to come to God in the midst of a crisis. Right, Dave is in hospital, he is really sick. God, I need you right now. There is nothing else that can help. We need you. But when things settle down a little bit again, when things become that little bit more normal again, it's so easy to just neglect stopping and taking the time to come to God. I read through the book of Isaiah recently in the Bible, and there are some great chapters, some amazing verses in this book. I love the chapter of Isaiah 55. If you're looking for something to read today, then why not dive in there, because it is great and there are some wonderful thoughts in there. The first verse of that chapter says, "Come, all you who are thirsty, come to the waters, and you who have no money, come, buy and eat." At any point, we can come to God. We can come and be refreshed when we're thirsty and hungry and tired and feeling exhausted. But it does take an action on our part. We have to come to Him. We have to stop what we're doing and make time to be with God. As I thought about what to speak on in this video this week, I realised that honestly I had absolutely no ideas. And I started by racking my brain, right? What can I speak about? What can I think to talk about? What have I read about in the Bible recently? What lessons could I bring out of this crazy time we've had being in hospital in a developing nation? There must be something there, right? Some amazing point of reliance on God. But nothing came. No little whispers to my heart and my head came, and I just was looking at a blank sheet. But while Dave was still resting in bed early one morning, I did what I hadn't done in a few days. I stopped and I came to God. And I was reminded of this chapter in Isaiah, chapter 55, that says simply, "Come." And verse 3 of that same chapter says, "Come to me with your ears wide open. Listen, and you will find life." You will find life. Isn't that amazing? It's all too easy for us to come to the Bible, to come to God, because it's something that we feel like we should be doing. But are we really coming because we're desperate to know more about him? Because we're thirsty, not literally, but thirsty for more of God. Because we really want to hear from him. We really want to hear him speak. How often do we come to pray and maybe stop for a moment, but then quickly run on to the next thing that we need to be doing? It is so easy to always be in a hurry, to always be rushing on to the next thing that we need to do. At the start of this new week, I made myself a list of everything that I would like to get done, and of course it was completely unrealistic, given that everything is still a little bit up in the air. And as I realised that I wasn't going to be able to achieve it all, I found myself feeling that little bit sad. You know, I'm not being productive, I'm not achieving, I'm not doing as much as I should be. But in this moment of simply coming to God, putting everything else down, coming to God with my ears wide open and listening, I was reminded of the most important thing all over again. It's not about what we do. It's not about what we achieve. It's simply coming. It's listening. And it's finding life all over again in the everyday of our lives. Whatever is going on in your life right now, whether it's a moment of great drama and chaos and hardship, you can come to him. Whether it's a moment where everything is going really well and the routine is totally normal and it's all good, you can come to him. In the good and the bad, you can come to him. Whether you are crazily busy right now and don't even have a moment to spare, or whether you have absolutely nothing planned for today, you can come to him. Regardless of your circumstances, stop. Just stop and listen, because that is where we find life. How different would our lives be if we reprioritized a little bit, if we made just even a moment of time for that every single day? I love how the Amplified Bible puts that same verse that we've been looking at, Isaiah 55 verse 3. It says, "Come to me, hear, and your soul will revive." That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? That sounds like the way to find the strength and the joy and the peace that we need for dealing with everyday life. Simply come and hear, and your soul will revive. You know, when I stopped everything and just made that time to come again to God, my situation didn't change. My routine was still upset. Things are still a little bit harder than they normally are while we wait for Dave to fully recover from his surgery. None of that changed. But I felt my soul start to revive, and I felt renewed strength and renewed peace, and suddenly all over again I felt able to cope with what was going on. I felt strengthened, and more importantly than anything else, I felt a renewed awareness of Emmanuel, God with us, walking with me through everything that day had to throw at me. This is so worth doing. It's not a magic answer to everything. It doesn't mean that everything you're praying for will suddenly be answered, but it will cause your soul to be revived, and it will reawaken your awareness of the God who is greater than our circumstances, the God who is greater than anything that we could face, the God who is good. Simply come. There's only one condition in that verse, And it's that we come with our ears wide open. So silence your own agendas. Silence the thought that says you need to be doing something right now, that this is wasted time. Simply come, expectant to hear what God has to say, and you will find life today. Thank you so much for joining me for that thought from the Bible. I love that we have this opportunity to just dig into this incredible book and find out more about God so easily and so freely. And I do love to hear from you too. So if God has been speaking to you, if you found this idea to be true, please do let me know. You can like or you can comment on this video, and that helps other people to find these videos too. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be back on Wednesday next week with another thought from the Bible. I will see you then.